Okay, guys, diving right in. So when we're learning to pay attention to energy, right? We have to learn how that even feels. Um, for me personally, it was very easy to pick up on how it feels when my journey began because I was bedridden with seizures. I 90% of my body suffers from neuropathy, so I don't have much physical sensation left, which really helped me skyrocket. I was stuck in my mind, and this is really how I came to notice those subtleties. So don't stress yourself if you can't recognize them right away. It takes a lot of training. A lot of people are not neurologically dead. Okay, a lot of people don't have a flattened foundation to build these sensations and awareness on. Most people have jobs. Okay, so you're going to be squeezing this into a little less time than I had, more than likely, which is probably a good thing because my life got really chaotic. This got a little out of control. And I had to figure out how to present it to you in a way that was ethical, just in case you were able to catch on to it like I did. It's kind of, it can get intense, as we all know, especially when the pieces start falling together quickly, which it can tend to do, especially when you catch on to your scientific pattern and your excitement gets a little out of hand. You build that energy too quickly, right? So that's where we get into, let's look at a sensation. Let's take excitement versus anxiety. It is the same exact bodily feeling, just one is driven by fear and negative, right? It's going to lower your vibration. And one is driven by a positive, love, right? Which is going to raise your vibration. So we can't necessarily, you have that feeling for a reason. It's positive or negative for a reason. And that is your trigger. So when you're excited and that is building big and you feel your vibration rising, we can want to reach out a lot, right? We feel very massive. When we do that, we don't want to reach out to the wrong people. We don't want to pour over this energy into people who are going to dim it. We don't want this excitement to be shared with low vibration elements that might drain it, right? That's where you get your vampirism, the people who just get pissy about your happiness because they don't have it themselves, right? So fuck those people. We don't want to share the excitement with them. We don't want to accidentally go, blast off to these people in their inbox. We don't want to call them, spewing our dreams and then be like, what the fuck are you so excited for? Those people are the worst. So make sure you're sharing your happy news with the right people. For one, that keeps your vibration up, right? Which is going to help manifest everything else, because by choosing your relations properly, we are ionizing ourselves. Like, we're basically one big ionized atom, and you want to draw in all the positive shit. So if you keep your shit positive, you help ionize positivity around you. Because we're no different than this wall, the bed I'm sitting on. We're no different. We're the same elements, just in a different composure, right? So, like, when you really break down humanity, we are one consciousness up here that we think with, right? But really, we're like a million little consciousnesses. All these cells each have their own consciousness and their own, their own bullshit. We all have a consciousness. But the human image is like consciousness as a whole, like in God's image, the whole thing working together in one human form. So we bring all this together. A bed doesn't have that, right? But it's still the same, basic elements of physicality and density. And, there's the same similar structure here and there. So, a bed doesn't get sensations though, right? But it still has structure. So when we're looking at these sensations, right, our cells are picking up on this before we are. The earth is feeding into our, before our brains even register, before our human brain is even like, oh, something's happening. It's already there. So we have to get to the point that we can stop that building sensation and recognize it before the human brain adds so many elements that we get lost, right? So a lot of people get lost in the spinning. They run away from their thoughts. They don't know how to settle it. They don't know this, they don't know that. They drink, so they just stop altogether. They do drugs, so they pass out. They have sex, so they feel something at all. And really all it is we're looking for that sensation, but when you ask for sensation, you get all of it. So that's where you get, you have to learn how to neutralize your swings. So it's when the energy gets real low, you got to learn how to lift that up. And sometimes egos are stubborn. They don't want to let go of that low energy because part of us likes it a lot. The human side of us really likes destruction. So we have to learn how to get the two sides of us, like whether you like it or not, you're split in two until you figure out how to bring them together. You have a light and you have a dark. And depending on which side you feed more, you're either a better or worse person. So it's all of us. None of us are innately good or bad. And that's why we just have to say, shut the fuck up, do your own work, and let people live. Because just because they can't understand something here, you don't understand something over here. And that's all just a different energy that our body doesn't know how to process. And that's why it's all so dumb. So it's all just energy that people perceive differently and that was fed into us differently, most likely as a child, most likely under trauma. If you're here, right, you have something to heal from. So we want to bust apart the sensations. So first you need to recognize what is good input and what is bad input, right? So when you're asking questions to your guides, to the universe, whatever, make sure you're protecting yourself with a power animal, sage, a grounding crystal, a protection crystal. You don't want these negative entities feeding you your scientific confirmation, right? That kind of neglects the whole point. So you need to learn what the spidey, like creepy senses are and when it's good. So you'll feel kind of a drain through your shoulders. At least I do. It will manifest differently in everyone based on, like I said, our reactions, but just the general. The spidey, like creepy negative energy is going to be a little bit lighter. It's going to be more surface. It's going to hit your skin. It's going to kind of drain lightly. Most of the time around the shoulders and neck, like we kind of, the stereotypical, like, ghost around you type feeling. When it's of your soul or a guide or source energy, it's going to fill you. Now there are source confirmations that you don't like hearing. These can be about large worldly events. That's when I've gotten the really drastic, horrible confirmation feelings that you're just like, oh my God, like everyone's gonna die. But it's not like that. You can't apply any specifics. And that's the hard part, is the human brain wants to attach to a specific. So you just have to accept the feeling. If you get premonitions, you may get these sensations from a future event. If you get visions, you may see the sensations to the future event. It is very, very, very important not to pull these sensations back if they're coming in from the future of this timeline. So somewhere out there, it has already happened and you have gotten that sensation. Do not fuck up your life reaching after these energy signatures that are not ready to appear here yet. You're getting clues. Do not assign anything specific. Just keep pushing towards the positive sensations and ignoring the negative ones, okay? Things are going to happen as they will. If you pick the lessons up faster, it will go easier. So you centralizing anything that's happening in your head and your energy field. We need to learn when we're pushing out towards other people. So are you thinking about someone too much and pushing them away? Do you have negative intentions towards someone because you feel they have wronged you? Do you worry that if you're worried, you're pushing things out at other people, right? You're not focused on you. You're not focused on what you can control, which is your inner energy. So suck all that energy back in. A good affirmation for that is, I call back which is mine and release what is not. You can release all that does not serve your highest good. So I release all that does not serve my highest good, and I call back all energy that is mine and belongs to me. So you can use affirmations to help with this. It's cord cutting. You want to get in, look up some videos on cord cutting. I can do a video on my personal techniques. Everyone kind of has their own way to do it. I have some visualization processes I like to use. And I make it easy for myself. So I just kind of tick it and it keeps going. So you don't want to make, if you have common rituals you get into, make it easy. You don't, when you deplete all the words and pictures, you just need intention and you can trigger it to go. Set it up, leave it there for yourself, and move on. You're going to get a lot of information pouring in. Let the thoughts go. Write down as much as you can because it just makes it easier to let those thoughts go. So start building your paper trail. Start watching for synchronicities or patterns that display in the 3D. And those are going to lead you to the energetic cues that you need to change, right? So watch your totems, watch your numerology and your symbology. Start looking it up. So angel numbers. If you see animals, look it up. Apply it to yourself. Like, figure out your totems. Figure out your power animals. Think about it. What's been relevant in your life that you don't understand? Why do you have this skill hanging out over here? What is it supposed to mean? So everything has a purpose. Everything has an energy signature from before this moment that we're supposed to use after this moment and combine. So why are you in this moment? What do you have energetically in this moment to offer to the next? And what are you going to do about it? Like, how are you going to assess that to make it into something? How are you going to use your recognition of this energy and what I've told you today to actually make a positive change for yourself? So, get back to me. Sorry, this light's getting sun's going down a little bit. It's pretty, but yeah. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know how these sensations show up for you. I'd love to hear about, how excitement feels. We all have a general idea, but, how's your positive input coming in? If you ask a question to your guides, do you feel like you're getting a good or bad answer? Like, just let's talk. So there's a concept, and just talk. How do you feel energy? How do you move it around your body? How aware are you of it? These are all things to ask yourself and pay attention to. If someone makes you uncomfortable, why? Are they pushing in on your boundaries unwarrantedly, or do you have expectations of them that they are not obligated to meet? What's causing that negative energy inside you, and why? Question yourself until you flip that signature. Dig down, 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 down. Why? It's internal. I can tell you that much. Just figure out why and what you can do to flip that signature. And as soon as you feel that spot flip in your head, remember it and go back to it next time this same scenario presents, and maybe you can do it in less words. And that's the goal.